Thank you, Rosie. Right. So, without further ado, we are so proud of what Planets has achieved. I've done far too much, I can't even say Planets now. We're so proud of what Planets have achieved, and we've got the £1 million. And as much as Joe and I run the shenanigans, and we've raised £1 million, none of this would have happened if it wasn't for one man. And that one man is Mr. Millionaire himself. The amazing, the unbelievable, the legendary, the man you all know, Neil Pearce. Over to you. Come on, Joe. Joe and I are going to stand and monitor what he says, because he can be a bit off track. Brian.
Right, well, thank you. There's some factual inaccuracies in that, just to start with later. Since my divorce, I'm only half a millionaire. Although I would like to thank Blake Morgan for their considerable contribution to maintaining my finances. And indeed those of Dr. Stedman. No coincidence their sponsorship of this event. I was blown away by that last song by my daughter, but actually, I'd like, if only you could be my daughter. Could I swap you for my sons? Would that be feasible in some way? You seem so much nicer, and more talented, more gifted, better with people. I don't know, but anyway. Many of you haven't met my sons. They are great, actually. They have other talents. I don't know, fighting, drinking, that sort of stuff. Anyway, we'll move on from there. So, I was blown away by that, and just looking at those photos, I don't know if you were looking at the photos as well as listening, but you know, Planets is a family, and as all of us know from our own families, we lose family members, and we've lost a hell of a lot. It's not that we're crap, you know, but what we are as a family with a lot of people in with bad disease. And that's why we set up Planets. We set it up to support people who are on a long, difficult pathway, fighting against the odds very often, against cancers that were unremitting, for which there was little interest and few answers. And along that way, we've managed to change some things. The first thing is that we've, as Planets, been able to provide a lot of support for an awful lot of people. For some of our cancers, like pancreatic cancer, for every one patient that we cure, there's 29 who don't make it, which is pretty unbelievable. I mean, just shocking odds. And so for those, we're fighting with them. And Planets is all about doing it together. It's about the doctors, the nurses, the dietitians, all the members of the healthcare team working together with the planet, with the patients, with their families, recognizing that actually, if we're fighting this together, we're all in it together. Doing things together, like all of these fundraising events, things like Scrap to the Future, for instance. You know, that's an extraordinary event that brings people together, that changes the way that doctors interact with their patients, because we get a different perspective on it. And that's just one of the things about Planets. Planets is about support. And as well as support, we're also about trying to make bigger changes too. So we fund research. We've got Lulu somewhere around in the audience, who's one of our... Stand up, Lulu. Stand up. Yay, Lulu. Normally we make Lulu play the violin at this moment. Did you bring it up? No. Okay. So normally we make Lulu play the violin, but in actual fact, she's even more gifted at her PhD research. So she's doing a lot of research into pancreatic neuroendocrine tumours and the genetics behind them, so that we can look at immune therapies to try and fight these diseases. Immune therapies is something that we've raised money for in the past. And you know, one of those last faces that we lost there on that photo montage was Adam Long, and we helped with not part of the Planet's charity, but as an online campaign to raise money for immunotherapy for him. And it's a lottery at the moment because we don't have enough information. We don't know the answers. We're just stabbing in the dark a bit with our immunotherapy. But hopefully with some of the work that Lulu's doing, we'll actually be able to say this is the right drug, this is the one that's going to work, rather than saying, well, we think maybe there's a 1 in 5 chance, and putting money into something that is a bit of a gamble and a lottery. We want to be able to make a difference on so many different fronts. So on top of the research, we've also got intraoperative radiotherapy that we funded. So Southampton is first place in the UK to have the Mobitron intraoperative electron beam radiotherapy device. We can give the equivalent of a full course of radiotherapy in about 5 minutes in theatre during an operation on a pancreatic cancer, or indeed other cancers. Increasingly we're using it for bowel cancer, for bladder cancer. There's a potential to use it for breast cancer, to use it for esophageal cancer, for head and neck cancers. Well, we've already done the UK's first head and neck cancer, cervical cancer. So we've got this machine, first in the UK to have it. Derek Deschioli, where's Derek? Stand up, Derek, hey. So Derek is over from the US. He's part of the team that make Mobitron in the US. And it's a marker of just how important Planets is to this company. I mean, they're not a huge tech company, they're not like one of these multi-billionaire companies, but they're a company that's making a difference. They've got new technology that's pushing and that is changing things. In the biggest centers in the US, Massachusetts General, it's not 1 in 30 that they cure with pancreatic cancer, it's 1 in 10. So actually they're doing 3 times better than us in the UK, and one of the big reasons for that is intraoperative electron beam radiotherapy, being able to give these extra cutting edge treatments. So Planets is about trying to help bring these in, and really thanks to Intraop, they've given us the machine at half price, allowed us to pay it in stages over 7 years. And they didn't have to do that, but I'm sure Derek doesn't mind me saying that he lost his father to pancreatic cancer. And actually, that's part of the family thing again that I'm talking about, is that cancer affects so many people. And if we're in it together, if we're fighting it together, then it doesn't matter whether you're at the research end, it doesn't matter whether you're in the product development end, it doesn't matter whether you're in treatment delivery, whether you're in patient support, psychotherapy, dietetics. It's all about being in it together and trying to make a difference. And Planets is trying to put all of those bits together. That's really what we're trying to do. Now, actually, I wasn't planning to say any of that. Is that all right? I was supposed to come up here. Jo gave me this little crib sheet. She said, well, in fact, many of you don't realise that tonight we had booked Roy Chubby Brown. All we've got is his bloody hat. I can tell you, God, that makes me sweat. I can tell you, it's absolutely bringing a dreadful sweat up on me. What is this? Kelly Reid, what is your butt plug doing in my pocket? For God's sake. Jo, could you return that to Kelly? I can't believe she's left that there again. Anyway, sorry, that wasn't in the script either. But how did he get that? Anyway, enough of that. So back to the Roy Chubby Brown sketch. So what I think I was supposed to say next was, Layla, what an amazing set of lungs you've got, love. But you're a fab singer, but more than that, you've been amazing for Planets over the last 8 years, whatever it is. Although you say you wouldn't have done it without me, none of us would have done it without each other, and it's been absolutely us as a team, and the team's got bigger every year, but you've been just integral to everything that we've done. You've been part of our inspiration. For us as clinicians, we need patients that are more than just patients. It's something special to us. And I'm relying on you to build my house next year as well. Lael, you're amazing. And Joe, you're quite good too. Half the size, but... honestly, I don't have words for the team that I work with. Not just the clinical team, but more than anything, the Planets team. And the Planets team is just so much more than people, more than words. It's that thing about family. And you're all part of the Planets family by coming here tonight. And now we're going to take your money. That's okay? Hi. Thank you.